China's economy continues to decline, the market is depressed, and doing business is difficult. Many shopping malls and supermarkets can no longer operate. Even the consumption data in Shanghai, a first-tier city, has fallen off a cliff. Ordinary people have less and less confidence in the future, and consumption continues to downgrade. As the Chinese New Year in 2025 approaches, many netizens have posted videos saying they have no money to celebrate the New Year. Let's talk about related topics today. Blogger ZU Emotion posted that 2025 may usher in the coldest and bleakest New Year in history for two reasons. One reason is the difficulty of celebrating the New Year due to lack of money. After working hard for a year, many people not only failed to make money, but may also be heavily in debt. However, they still need to buy New Year's goods and give red envelopes to their juniors during the new year. For people with tight finances, these basic expenses have become a heavy burden, and their enthusiasm for celebrating the new year has greatly diminished. Second, the employment situation is severe. Many people who work away from home would have returned to their hometowns if they couldn't find a job. Even migrant workers who are still wandering outside may hesitate to go home for the new year, deterred by the high prices of air tickets and high-speed rail tickets. This year, fewer people will go home for the new year than in previous years because they have no money. It costs at least 6,000 yuan for me to go back, and I would have to overdraw my wages for February and March. Is this a good thing? I really don't want my debt to snowball. Why not use savings? Are you kidding? Who has savings? Last year, I was completely penniless. The year before that, I opened a catering sideline business and lost 60,000 yuan. Without money, how could I still have the face to go home? How much money did you give your parents for the new year this year? Tell me so I can envy you. I'm not afraid of being laughed at when I say it, but we may not have a penny this year. For the sake of fairness, neither of our parents received money this year. My husband and I are both ordinary workers. Our monthly salary is only about 7,000 yuan. The monthly mortgage and car loan payments add up to about 5,000 yuan, so we are under great pressure. As soon as our monthly salary arrives, we pay off the mortgage and car loan first, and the rest is used for daily expenses. We can't save money for the children, so we didn't save a penny this year, let alone give money to our parents during the Chinese New Year. The thing we fear most after getting married is the Chinese New Year. This year, I bought 2 sets of clothes for my daughter for the Chinese New Year. My husband and I both wore old clothes. My husband and I are not very particular about this. We wear the same clothes for several years. I realized how hard it is to make money after I got married, and after becoming a parent, I could better understand how difficult it is to be a parent. Compared to those who earn money to support the whole family, it is difficult for us to save money even when we earn. Fortunately, my husband and I are very optimistic. We are careful with our expenses, but also very clear about the money we should spend. So, after working hard for a year, I still didn't save any money. I give 20,000 yuan every year to my parents when I go back home to show my filial piety. My parents know it is not easy for me to make money, so they don't want my money every year, but I still insist on giving it to them. They put the money into a card and said they would give it to my children in the future. In my opinion, making money to show filial piety to parents is the most important thing for children to do. I don't need to prepare the New Year's goods at home, so the expenses are reduced. I prepared 2,000 yuan for the children's New Year's money, 2,000 yuan for visiting relatives and friends, and 1,000 yuan for eating with close friends. For the new year, with a new atmosphere, I spent 600 yuan on cleaning myself up, totaling 35,600 yuan. Looking at the expenses and then at my salary, I am really shocked. This is just the stage of having elderly parents and no children. It is said, whether you have money or not, you should go home for the new year. After calculating, I found that if you don't have 10,000 or 8,000 yuan, you would feel ashamed to go home for the new year. But what is the new year? Who do you spend the new year with? The new year is about being with your family. Migrant workers have been working hard for a year, just waiting for this moment of reunion. So, I think it is worth spending any amount of money. How much money have you prepared? This blogger from Shenyang said she calculated her average monthly income this year was 7,000 to 8,000 yuan. But she didn't dare to spend because she had no confidence in the future. She said she only bought 3 pieces of clothing this year. In the summer, she spent more than 100 yuan on a black skirt. Half a month ago, on her birthday, she bought a sweater and a pair of jeans because she had dinner with friends in Zhongjie. which cost just over 500 yuan in total. These are the 3 pieces of clothing I bought this year. As for skincare products, I am still using the face cream I bought last year. There's a little bit left, and I haven't used it up. It cost 400 to 500 yuan. I didn't say that I am too poor to buy skincare products, but the biggest feeling I have this year is that I am reluctant to spend money. She said she now tries to save money, cooks at home whenever possible, and rarely orders takeout. It's because this year I feel I have the least sense of security since I started working. This year's work gives me the feeling that you could lose your job even while you're working. A recent survey shows that 80% of Chinese consumers believe they are trapped in consumption downgrade. The general consumption concept among people is don't buy if it's not necessary. If it is a must-have product, they choose to buy low-priced items. You are talking about consumption downgrade. Wrong. It's not a downgrade at all, but no consumption at all. No one is outspending. There are still 10 days before the Chinese New Year, yet there are no people on the streets. Only a few customers come into the store daily. Ordinary people really don't have money in their hands. They truly don't consume. If they can avoid buying, they don't buy. If they can buy less, they buy less. It's really too difficult. How serious is consumption downgrade? This is our China Resources Vanguard in Nanchang. It was crowded with people back then. Now, as the Chinese New Year approaches, let's look at the popularity here. In previous years, this place was full of cars. Now, there are only a few cars. It is completely empty. It's 7:30 in the evening. Look at the crowd. How can this be called consumption downgrade? There is simply no consumption. Did you make money this year? Tell me. Many shopping malls in mainland China are deserted, and the same is true for shopping malls in Shanghai. There is no festive atmosphere at all. It is December 25th, 2024. I am in Greenland colorful city, Putuo District, Shanghai at 1:30 in the afternoon. Can you imagine? I seem to be the only one in the entire mall. Hello everyone, today I came to Beiyolong Plaza, the former top shopping mall on Kaolu Road, Pudong, Shanghai. It used to be said that one shop could support 3 generations, but now it's the other way around. The shop you bought is now really one shop that will make 3 generations poor. They are all closed. It is Saturday the weekend and it's past 12 o'clock. No one is open. Oh, there is an old Beijing fried noodle shop in front that is still open. Look, they are all closed. It is terrible. If you bought this store at a high price, you are probably crying in the toilet now. It used to be a top shopping mall. When Beiyolong Square Carrefour was still open, it was really crowded. Now, it is terrible. This is the center of Beiyolong Square. The former Carrefour is in front, and even the convenience stores are closed. Everyone says that consumption has been downgraded, but we also see that the tourism industry in the mainland seems to be booming. And no matter which tourist attraction you go to, it's crowded. However, blogger Lu Jai believes this is also a manifestation of consumption downgrade, indicating that people are unable to engage in large-scale consumption. Alert! China Bank blocks large transactions. Shandong man withdraws 29,000 yuan, police called. Recently, a man in Shandong withdrew 29,000 yuan in cash from a bank, only to have the staff call the police to investigate the purpose of his withdrawal. The man angrily posted a video exposing the issue, which quickly attracted public attention. On January 7th, a 37-year-old man from Binzhou, Shandong, posted a video on a social platform revealing that he had withdrawn 29,000 yuan in cash from Wudi Rural Commercial Bank on the 6th and was subsequently harassed by the bank. The staff reportedly called the police to investigate his income and the purpose of the withdrawal. I withdrew my own money, but the bank refused to let me take out cash and even called the police to check my detailed information, the man complained angrily in the video. The video, filmed in the bank lobby, showed the man confronting the bank's president. I came to withdraw money, but the teller demanded my personal information, my transfer records, and now they're checking my details. The bank has delayed me too much, he said. I wanted to withdraw money, but you wouldn't let me. You even investigated how I earned my money and what I planned to spend it on. I wanted to withdraw 29,000 yuan, and you called the police. Not only did you check my information, but you also contacted my clients. Now my clients no longer trust me, and I've suffered losses. The video quickly gained attention online. A staff member from the Chengkou branch of Wudi Rural Commercial Bank responded, stating that depositors must make an appointment to withdraw more than 20,000 yuan in cash due to tight funds before the new year. and concerns that cash availability might be limited. This incident is not an isolated case. In recent years, many mainland banks have restricted withdrawals and transfers under the pretext of anti-fraud and anti-money laundering measures, reportedly following directives from Chinese Communist Party authorities. However, many netizens suspect that the real reason lies in the bank's cash shortages. For instance, in November 2024, a woman in Shenzhen transferred 200,000 yuan, prompting the bank to call the police. She was taken to the police station for questioning about the source and purpose of the funds. In the same month, a woman in Xingtai, Hebei, attempted to withdraw 25,000 yuan in cash from the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China to cover her husband's hospitalization expenses. She was also interrogated by bank staff. The latter woman recorded a video at the bank, questioning the staff. "Even if I weren't dealing with a hospitalization, why can't I withdraw my own money?" Many Chinese banks have lowered their mobile phone transaction limits, some to 2,000 yuan. Shortly after the beginning of 2025, many Chinese banks lowered their users' mobile banking transaction limits, with some even reducing them to 2,000 yuan. The news sparked heated discussions among netizens. According to a report by the mainland media Shi on January 9th, on the morning of January 8th, Tongcheng Rural Commercial Bank posted on its official Weibo that it would reduce the daily transaction limit for its contracted individual mobile banking customers who had no transactions in the past year and whose daily limit was greater than 500,000 yuan to 2,000 yuan, effective January 20th. Previously, the bank's daily limit exceeded 500,000 yuan. Since the beginning of 2025, many banks in mainland China have lowered their customers' transaction limits. These include the Bank of China Tianjin branch, Hecheng Rural Commercial Bank, and others. Moreover, since mid-2024, a number of banks have successively issued documents reducing the transaction limits for certain customers.
Alert! The Central Bank of China has opened Pandora's box. The best escape is, in these few days, the Twitter account suanlc.eth.lens is a blogger followed by many Chinese people. The author often provides realistic commentary on the current Chinese economy. The latest article, discussing the impact on the foreign exchange market, stock market, and real estate market in mainland China, has been widely shared among Chinese people. At the beginning of the article, the author said, "Originally, I planned to write a macroeconomic analysis over these 2 days, but now I have too many followers, and I'm afraid of being reported, so I won't publish it. After all, if you follow Teacher Lee on Twitter, you might get invited for tea." Let me just briefly touch on the topic. This epic monetary release has essentially started printing money without an anchor. This breaks the bottom line set by former Prime Minister Zhu Rongji during the 1994 financial reforms, which had remained intact for the past 30 years. Now, with the economy in such poor shape, Pandora's box has been opened. If money continues to be released without limits, only one among the exchange rate, stock market, or real estate market can be saved: exchange rate. The RMB does not have the conditions for appreciation. The previous 7.3 key point was waiting for the U.S. interest rate cut. However, after the cut, the U.S.-China interest rate gap has not narrowed, but instead has given China some easing room. The continued outflow of foreign capital will not change, and foreign trade is also continuing to shrink. This time, the sharp appreciation of the RMB occurred because it took advantage of the U.S. interest rate cut to withdraw liquidity massively from the offshore RMB market, guiding the appreciation of the domestic exchange rate. This tactic cannot last long, and at most it will reach 6.95 to 6.9. Stock market. Since I started writing on Mirror in 2021, I have always emphasized that every rebound in A-shares is the last chance to escape. This wave of policies aims to make retail investors use all their bank deposits to leverage stocks, and there is a high probability that they will end up with a mess. I think the week after National Day is the best time to exit. It will be difficult to break through 3,300 during this wave, with an upper limit of 3,500. Now, many people are shouting for 4,000 or 5,000 points, which is either ignorant or malicious. Huijin borrowed 1 trillion yuan to protect the stock market at the beginning of the year and accumulated a lot of shares below 3,000 points. These shares need to be passed on to retail investors. Real estate market. The two largest waves of increases in China's real estate market were the monetization of shantytown renovation and price hikes to reduce inventory in 2016 to 2017, which caused housing prices to double in 2 years. The second was the large-scale monetary release in 2019 to 2020, which led to at least a 50% increase. Starting from the high point in 2021, housing prices in cities like Shenzhen and Hangzhou, which are leveraged for real estate speculation, have basically fallen back to the 2016 to 2017 levels, trapping most people. Shanghai and Beijing are slightly better, likely at 2018 to 2019 levels. I think Shenzhen and Hangzhou will at least return to pre-2016 price levels, while Shanghai and Beijing will need to return to 2011. At the end of the article, the author gives investment advice to people in mainland China. Don't buy stocks or real estate. If possible, convert RMB into US dollars or US dollar-denominated assets. If there are no other options, buy physical gold in China, which not only avoids RMB exchange rate risks, but also hedges against geopolitical risks.